What up? What up, fellas?
Yo, what's up?
Gentlemen,
What's up?
Chilling, chilling, chilling. All right, all right. Corey, Ant Man, Rayshawn, back with his antics again. Julian, Adrian Wells, Miguel, Rob. What up, y'all? Chill vibes. Andre. I see the last name, so I think that's how you say it. Um. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is the place where sports opinions collide. That is sports. I'm your host, Kenneth Beans. Joining me on the show, we have Q,
what up, y'all? We here. Let's do it.
Sheldon J.
What's happening? What's happening?
You are now tuned into the best live sports talk show at night on YouTube. No filter, no agendas. We're just sports fans talking about sports the same way you do. As we get ready to kick things off, everybody hit the thumbs up button, man. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Share the show. Let everybody know we're about to get started and to come through and kick it with us as well. If you're not a member, go over to youtube.com/Dead in Sports. Hit the join button and sign up, become a member, help support the show. And that's it. As usual, the Thursday format is slightly different. We don't go as long. At least I say that every Thursday, and we still end up talking about 2 hours. But we normally try to truncate it down to about an hour 15 or whatnot. But we go where the show take us sometime. So yeah, man. So right now the Saints and the Cardinals are playing. What's the score in that game while I pull it up?
7-6 Saints.
Okay.
Cardinals have
Okay.
kicked 2 field goals, and they're looking like the Cardinals.
Mm.
The Saints
Oh,
had an impressive touchdown drive. Well, on the opening drive, they scored for the first time, I think, in 21 opening drives, the last 21.
oh wow.
Um, but they threw a pick in the red zone, so 7-6.
Okay.
And
All
it
right. Cool. Yeah.
continues. It's continuing the string of Thursday night games and what we've been seeing so far.
Boo boo.
Right.
Seeing a lot of boo boo.
Yeah, so that Sixers game about to get some action.
Yep. And shit, I got some. We got some topics tonight we can go through on NFL and NBA as well. So,
Cool. Let's get into it. What you got?
all right. Starting out, number one, I want to talk about the Sixers first because the Sixers are on right now. The Milwaukee Bucks are up 66-57. It is third quarter, and there is about a minute left. So, unless I'm behind on my stream, but
You're right.
when it comes to just this Sixers team, let's just say it real, man. This is Dead in Sports. Doc Rivers, how many games do they give him before the hot seat becomes they have to make a move? Because this offense for the Sixers, it looks bad, man.
Hmm. I agree.
I'll say halfway through the season.
Half the
It's
season.
still middle of the road.
Mm.
Um, I, yeah, I don't know what to do. I mean, they don't have a bench. I know you're talking about the offense. But yeah, I mean, even still, without much of a bench, you got Harden, you got Embiid, you got Maxey, who's an electric player, Tobias Harris. Maybe you should put his ass on the bench, and start one of those other guys. But if it's not necessarily the talent and what you're doing with the talent that you have, and that guy is Doc Rivers, who may be running an old archaic offense by today's standards, then you don't want to waste Embiid's soon to be or right now prime years with a Harden that outside of him shimmying and breaking that damn three last night, looked relatively good in the first game. So a lot of promise. I think when you look at Giannis, who they're playing right now, is Giannis, is Middleton, who's a great compliment, and then it's other guys that fit what they want to do. But Giannis is the catalyst around everything that happens and moves. So yeah, I think he may get up to have the season, man.
What about you, Sheldon? Doc Rivers.
I agree with Ken. I was thinking along the same lines. I was thinking you have to go with him at least until halfway. I would kind of be in red mode at this point because, like you said, you have this talent and you don't want to waste the prime years. You ain't gonna get so much in shape, healthy James Harden left. Ain't too much left. So you want to get the best use out of this talent while you have it. You got a good 1-2, and you got an upcoming Maxey. But like Ken said, we talked about it yesterday in the chat. They got 7 points off the bench, and Melton has all 7. Nobody else off the bench has scored a point. So in saying that, all your firepower is on the court. Tobias Harris and PJ Tucker, they got 9 points between the two of them. So you have no scoring other than your big three. So they got to figure out ways to move the ball, get these people in position, because if Joel Embiid has the ball, defenses should automatically be collapsing. Somebody should be open to hit a shot. So no matter what, you should be moving the ball. And I agree with you, Q. A lot of this is on Doc. A lot of this is on Doc at this point. But I don't know what you can do. Like, there's not much you can do. Even thinking about what we're talking about doing at mid-season, you can make a coaching move, but you may not get the guy. So what do you do?
For me, I think there's multiple points, but we're gonna start with what do you do? He has until Christmas. I think it's that simple. He has until Christmas. There's no way in hell that he's getting half a season. The way that James Harden looked against Boston, getting 35 points, what he had 6, 7 assists, 8 assists, something. He looked like I said during the summer, everybody thought it was crazy. I'm like, just give him a second. Let me get his hamstring right. That's a really hard injury for big guards to come back from. And he's even going to be even better by December. So as James is powering up, as I think Joel is going to get and play himself into shape, this offense is going to obviously be better because, players obviously work themselves into NBA shape as the season goes on. But the offense is still going to be dampened by Doc Rivers and what Ken is talking about, the archaic offense. I completely actually disagree with what a lot of people on the show have said about this bench. This bench is not bad. This bench is good. Doc Rivers has players he can use. Paul Reed is not the most amazing backup, center, but he can do some things. You got guys like DeAnthony Melton, who in Memphis, when asked to do specific things, looks really good. You have Daniel House, who for the Utah Jazz last year looked really good doing a defined role. Montrezl Harrell plays terrible defense, but in around 8 to 10 minutes a game, I think he can be useful. Matisse Thybulle, he needs to be a gadget 3-and-D. The fact that Doc Rivers did not make an adjustment on Tatum and Brown, both scoring 35. You have Tucker. Why not throw Thybulle and Tucker on the court? Tucker can still hit a corner 3, so it's not completely offensive zeros. And then try to do something to force you have to match athleticism with athleticism. You have to match youth with youth. And Doc Rivers, for the last 3 seasons, has just continued to be stubborn. And I feel like a guy like, honestly, Sam Cassell or anybody on our bench would go with the hot hand, would go with the adjustments that make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I would say until Christmas, I'm not really feeling it right now. I think that everything just looks the same. He refuses to, do what the moment calls for. He's always going to stick with veterans over young talent that needs to be nurtured. And I'm just not seeing it from an offensive standpoint that Maxey is not a focal point within this offense. He's just still passing the ball. He's deferring to Tobias Harris. So we gonna see, man.
Hey Q, do you feel like they are going to have to make this move, or do you think they're going to adjust? And
you have to make the move. I feel like you have to make a move because you can't allow Joel Embiid is going to be 29 next year. You know what I mean? It's going to be a decade in the league. It's going to be almost a decade. It is going to be a decade in the league. 2013, 2014. So it's like it's gonna be a decade in the league, yo. You cannot let Doc Rivers tank the. You have PJ Tucker on a 3-year deal, but really it's a 1-year deal because you're going all in. You have James Harden, like you said, this is gonna be the last. He's reinventing himself to make it where CP was the last year in Houston. CP was his last year in Houston. CP3's last year in Houston. That was like, now we see it was the last 5 years of his career. That little stretch to now. And now he's looking like he's washed, right? So we probably have James for probably about four more of these good years, if that. Probably 3. So if you have this right now, you have Maxey on the up. You have to capitalize, man. You have to make this move. It's almost like, Sheldon, let me give it to you like this. It's almost like if in the NFL equivalent, if the Bills head coach started out like 0-5. You just gotta, you literally have to make a move at that point. Because it's like, no, we have too much talent to be, it's time to go kill now. And that's where Doc Rivers is missing the moment. He's not, I don't see it from Embiid. These are the type of games where progressing the conversation just past Doc now. I'm getting into some team previews and whatnot, so we're going to talk about obviously the Sixers first, but I'm to the point where, and this is not Embiid's fault, I don't think Embiid is a number one option. Joel Embiid is not a number one option. Joel Embiid is a superstar, but he's not a number one option. He has a coach and he has an organization that is unserious about sitting him down and telling him, you are a big man, but you're not the type of big man that's mobile enough to do what Giannis does, and you're not crafty enough on offense because you're really just brute force on offense mixed in with your mid-range and stuff that is finesse. But on the block, Joel is not really Hakeem. He can do that stuff, but he's very much so bang, bang, let me try to. But once he faces really fundamental bigs like Steven Adams, Jonas Valanciunas, faces guys like right now, Brook Lopez, they eat his lunch every single time. Al Horford, every single, these just mundane bigs that, don't have all the all-stars, they shit on Joel every single game that they play against him. Joel can get up and shit on Andre Drummond. He can get up for Anthony Davis whenever. That's cute. The guys who don't have any type of dog in them, but the little lunch pail backup bigs who say, try that shit on me, fuck with me. Joel doesn't have anything for those guys, and I think that Joel is a victim of an organization that is too unserious to sit him down and say, we can't make a center who is slow like you the center of an offense in 2022. It has to be guard oriented, and you have to take more of the onus on being a defensive guy because that's where you're super special, and the offense needs to be almost damn near secondary for you. And I think we're miscasting Joel Embiid as being, you need to be Nikola Jokic scoring 48. Fuck all that. I would love just 24 points, 5 assists, 4 blocks. I don't need 28, 30. Fuck all that. I need Maxey to get 28. I need James Harden to get 28. I need Tucker to get 16. Joel doesn't need 30. If he has that many touches on the block, our offense is stagnant. Period.
Do you think it's because he's not efficient with how he scores?
Not efficient enough. And that's where Jokic has that leg up. What I just said, Jokic, yes, everyone has their bad games. Don't get me wrong. I can point to any film where Jokic, Colin Sexton just literally gamed him last night. So we can do that for anybody, right? Bad games and anomalies aside, Jokic dispatches these type of bigs, those Al Horford types, those lunch pail dudes, because he's just so crafty. He's efficient. He's going to go up and under, fake a pass, and lay it up. Joel, he gets the ball, and it's like he's like, I got to power down, boom, boom, boom. And it's like those guys who are smart, they're going to pull the chair every time. They're going to match his brute force. They're going to jump when he jumps. And the refs are not calling that shit because Joel's trying to poster every one of those dudes. Jokic is like, all right, y'all can think I'm about to poster you. I'm actually trying to get this one little bump, boom, Dirk fade. It's efficient. And that's where and then he organizes the offense. And that is where Jokic is supremely more valuable than Joel Embiid has been. I think Joel has more offensive, just freakishness to him. But Jokic is just so simple, man. It's just like Tim Duncan shit. It's just like, all right. And then he has the wizardry with his passes that just makes his offensive game, I think, more distinct. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you say Tim Duncan, but Tim Duncan, I mean, he ate with that simple shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hall of Fame, 5 rings.
Yeah, so it can be done. I know this style of NBA isn't really conducive to that, but it still can be done. I think that's what made him so different from a lot of other centers, is that he did have an offensive package with what he did. And he does have like Akeem like moves. And that's why I was wondering, like, is it efficiency? Is it when does he not have the IQ in certain situations when he's doubled? Does he not know what to do in certain situations in the offense?
Mm-hmm.
Offensive system. Maybe to your point, maybe they shouldn't give him the ball first and have him initiate the offense in the way that kind of Jokic does.
Yeah.
Because Jokic can, with his IQ, make so many different decisions. I think to your point, if they give it to him, then he's trying to bang down low like
too
Shaq
much.
or whatever.
You're doing too much once you have that many touches in 2022.
I still think he's the number one option though.
It's like it's almost in the way that Joel is the most important player, but what he brings to the game is not the most valuable thing to us. Like, he's the most important and most invaluable. The offensive creation of a Maxey and a Harden is the most valuable thing that we have, because that's the way that the offenses of the NBA are going. You have to be able to drive, kick, dish, shoot. Joel Embiid, he's the heart and soul of the team. Yeah, he's like the thermometer, the barometer for how the team goes. But he needs to be able to eat within the flow of a guard-oriented offense. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying, Sheldon? It's like I'm not trying to shit on his skill. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he doesn't have number one ability. I'm saying that if Joel Embiid, if he was in 2004, oh my God, like, we might be saying this dude is 6 rings, like, but it's a different game.
Yeah, the game is more up and down now. You're saying that when Joel Embiid gets the ball most of the time,
yes.
If Joel Embiid scores 40 points, it's a plotting game. It's like a slow-paced game, and it's going to take the other guys out of the game.
Yes,
which means those are usually losses. It's not like
in the playoffs, the high leverage situations, Sheldon. Those situations that you're talking about, those become 5-on-4.
Mm-hmm.
Joel Embiid will do some dumb shit where he'll try to bring the ball up the floor, like on Tuesday night. And then Jaylen Brown just takes it from him and then gets a layup on the other end. And then by the time Jaylen Brown is already back to the next, we're barely setting up our offense. I'm like, okay, this whole thing is messed up. This is not just some rust. This is, you all haven't organized an offense around Harden, Maxey, and Embiid for a whole summer.
Damn, man, you basically trying to turn Joel into DeAndre Ayton, bro.
I'm not doing that. I swear I'm not doing that. That's not.
Damn, that's what he does, man. Grab rebounds, putbacks.
Man, no,
I don't think that's what he's saying.
I'm saying pick and roll. I'm saying Harden has to have a pick and roll on the string. Him and Harden can do the pick and roll, the pick and pop. The threes can come. I'm great with that. But bruh, Daniel House is better than what they are showing. Anthony Melton is better than what they're showing. T. Stiebel, Shake Milton, these guys need to be used creatively. And I'm saying Doc Rivers is not a creative enough coach. If Ty Lue's the coach of this Sixers team, we have no questions. We have no questions.
Melton can definitely play. I've seen it. We've seen it in Memphis.
Yeah.
So and I think he has 9 points tonight or something like that.
Yeah. I think he's up to 9.
Yeah, I mean, House Jr., he's hit or miss.
He's solid,
me, but
he's just solid.
Thibault, he hasn't even entered the game. But I mean, Shake Milton, we've seen him, have offensive ability. So I don't know, man. I feel you on the bench, but the bench doesn't look all that great. And to your point, when you open, with Doc Rivers, Doc Rivers is what will cause this bench to fail. If you put this bench with Kerr or Lou, as you mentioned, these guys will maybe be more productive if that's how we're looking at it. The talent is there. They probably just need a system or coach to kind of pull it out in certain established roles that will make them more efficient and effective.
That's the key. Yeah, that's the whole key in what you said right there. Establishing roles and making everybody understand that, like, what you have to do. I like what you said earlier too, even about going with Tobias Harris with the second unit. Sometimes you have to take a player like that that's offensive minded like that and put him with the bench guys to add some infusion. So when you sit those guys, you got a focal point. Tobias Harris with the second unit should be killing people. So that would be the look to me.
Yeah, it's definitely a volatile situation right now, and I think that by Thanksgiving it could be serious by then. Because especially if they don't win these games coming up, we're down 7 right now in the fourth quarter, so we're not gonna stay on the Sixers though. Though I will say, last point, Doc Rivers is known amongst his veterans to like favor just those guys. You know, he doesn't really like to groom rookies. He's very much so an old school coach. Guys like Kendrick Perkins have confirmed this. Paul Pierce, KG. You know, Rondo said he had to earn a whole bunch of trust with him. So it's just who Doc Rivers is. So moving on from the Sixers, I want to go into the Nets Pelicans recap from last night. Yes, the Nets and the Pelicans. Brooklyn last night was definitely in the house for a minute until they weren't. And that was because Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, along with CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, and a very just well-coached team by Willie Green, put it on them boys. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a rabble-rousing. So, Ken and Show, let me ask y'all, think KD is having some second thoughts already? Like, damn, bro, Steve Nash, are we gonna have a similar situation in Brooklyn like we have in Philly with the head coach?
I was gonna say I think he already had that. I just think the trade market situation and going through what they went through with that, I think he kind of understood he was left with no choice. He couldn't do anything. So I think he already knew it was gonna be kind of how it is. So I think he already knew what he was up against, but I don't think he knew it was going to be this bad. And it just doesn't look good. But how much of that cute? Because I saw you said some stuff too. I was going to ask you real quick. How much of that do you think is New Orleans, or was it just Brooklyn was that bad?
New Orleans is that good to make Brooklyn's deficiencies look as bad as they will be when they face teams that are as good as New Orleans. Does that make sense? Whereas, like, that same thing is going to come out because their lack of defense is across the board. Even if you add in Ben Simmons, who I think I'm going to give him some slack. It's first game of the season, y'all. We're not doing overreaction in NBA. We're not doing that here. You know, we rebuke that. But when it comes to what I see and just trends from last year and adding on to those trends, the same thing looks like it's about to happen again, where even if you add in Joe Harris, Seth Curry, they're not stopping nobody. Even if you get better production from Patty Mills and Kyrie, they're not stopping anybody. So when you get to high leverage basketball, the playoffs, as we see it, these next couple years for the foreseeable future, is all about, do you have guys who can drive, kick, dish, shoot, and defend multiple positions? And if you don't have that, if you don't have the girth to deal with, you know, bigs inside along with those switchable dudes, like I just said, you're kind of hard pressed. So Brooklyn, KD, he can only do so much. Kyrie's not he's not playing defense. And Zion, he is just a whole load, dude. 265, 270, 6'7", 6'8". For him to be going in the paint and just going through Ben Simmons' chest like that, I think it just shows a bad omen for the Brooklyn Nets, man. How about you, King?
There was some disagreement. It's one game.
Mhm.
I said last year KD was old. And even though he had a great game, or it looked great, I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but I don't know how much he can carry this team
Mm.
if called upon to do it. So if there is some, just to get back to the question, given everything that happened prior to the season, you came back pretty much against your will. We saw, if all the reports are true, we saw the Suns last year fall apart because of issues Ayton had with the coach that spewed over into the locker room. If KD is bringing that same resentment here, and Ben Simmons goes out and play like he played, and he is no help to this team, and he looks like a bust, then this team will be at the bottom, and KD will probably start pitching a fit, and it's probably going to get pretty ugly because he already told him, "I do not want to be here." He already told them Steve Nash is the problem, and then I think he even called out the GM, and they didn't make a move.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
It's not like he didn't let you know. So now what do you do? Because now all of a sudden, then, I mean, it was a depressed asset anyway because of what happened with Rudy Gobert. But it's even more of a depressed asset when he gets there and things aren't going right and he starts showing out. Now you're really just going to have to move him for whatever you can get. So I'm going to give him 7 games and reevaluate the situation. Because maybe we know they don't play defense, but maybe they didn't think New Orleans was going to be as good as they were.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but I got a question for y'all. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask y'all which one of those players do y'all think will be the first to implode? Who's going to be the first problem? Is it going to be KD, Kyrie, or Ben Simmons?
First of all, do I still have an echo, Sheldon? Do I have an echo still?
I think it's gone now. It's
gone. All right, cool. I think the media in Brooklyn is already starting to kind of grate Ben Simmons' nerves. The quotes that they're picking and putting on ESPN and Fox, it's all looking like just one big soap opera for them, man. Brooklyn, it's just a mad scientist lab of personalities. Like, you got guys like Ben Simmons who say that, guys like Giannis don't shoot. Why do y'all want me to shoot? And it's like, Giannis will shoot. You do realize that, right, Ben?
What is he watching?
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like he's just like, well, you all say that, and if I do it and I'm bad at it, then you all still be mad at me. And it's like, bro, who are you? Like, what is this crusade against that you just have like he's very anti-shoot. Like, he must have, I don't know, it's almost like a political leaning for him to be against shooting the basketball. It's like some like political stand. Like, I'm gonna be an NBA player and not have to shoot once or something. I don't know, but I think it's definitely Ben Simmons who's gonna probably say or do something first that's like, what? You know what I mean? Because Sheldon, did you see when they asked Kyrie about the conversation he had with James Harden last year when James became the point guard and Kyrie said, "I'm the 2, James gonna be the point." They asked Kyrie, "Did you have the same conversation with Ben Simmons about being the point guard?" And Kyrie was like, "No, we didn't have that conversation." So it's starting great, man.
Right.
Tracy G sent the super chat and she said Kyrie should be traded immediately.
It was one game. God damn. After one, she's like, "No, get his ass out of there." No, I seen enough.
I mean, the numbers didn't look great, but was he that bad?
He was
on defense. He was
pedestrian.
On defense, yes.
Yeah.
On defense, he was that bad. Defense, he did nothing. As far as the rest of the game, what he had, 15, 13, 15, something like that?
16 points, like 4 assists or something.
Yeah, he was, but on defense, he was really a liability. So it don't look good. It just doesn't look good right now for them. And maybe it'll be different when they get the shooters back. You're missing both your shooters. So it's not to say they're going to help him out on the defensive end because that won't help him at all. But maybe it'll help him get some points up on the board, which will cause the other team to work a little harder, which should help them out with on that end of the floor as well.
I got another one from Tracy G. She said she was arguing all day on Skip and Shannon's channel as she said New Orleans is Brandon Ingram's team. Do y'all agree with her?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I can't say for how long, and Zion is truly the superior talent. But as far as leadership goes, of course, Brandon Ingram has played with the Lakers. He's been in the league longer. He's a tremendous talent. He's going to get his points regardless. So, yeah, 100% is his team right now. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I can't say I take that back because C.J. McCollum is really the leader if you really look at it. So I take that back. Brandon he's up there as far as, leadership goes, but C.J. is the engine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Brandon wants it to be his team, and for a while before Zion got there, it was. I think temporarily it will be. I want to really see how these games go. I only had a chance to really go back and watch 2 games from last night, but before I can really say so, I know that when we really saw Brandon take off, I was wondering how it was going to look when Zion came back, and it definitely looked weird. Like he had to take sort of a back seat reluctantly. But Zion turns around and misses like a whole season. And so they never really got a chance to really establish who's going to do what. And then here comes CJ. Now I'm with you, Shelton. CJ definitely looks like, at least last year, that it was his team with the way that he was playing and scoring down the stretch and the impact that he had. So I think that if I think of this team and I think of how Zion, I don't know if Zion can be like the focal point offensively just yet. Mm-hmm. He could probably be more Sean Kemp, just real, in that way for now until he just kind of really settles in and pretty much play a whole season. So I think it would definitely go through Brandon and CJ, and then Zion will sort of get his.
Yeah, because he's on a minutes restriction still, right?
Who's Zion?
Yeah.
Possibly. I'm not actually
I think so. That. I think he is. But either way it goes, he really, he showed me something last night, which I always knew what Zion was. Like everybody else knows he has that talent. But to be able to go out and to not have play, we talk about Ben Simmons missing a year. He comes back and we making excuses for kind of like how rusty he is and all. You know what I'm saying? We say, I agree with you because I was saying the same thing. Let's give him some time and see. But Zion missed the same amount with more time than that. And he comes back and plays like he played yesterday. So he was killing. Mm-hmm. And that's amazing. Thank you, Emtron. I didn't know I don't know why I thought he played less than 32 minutes. But he was killing. Zion, every time I saw him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He looked incredible. Also, James Harden is back. But by the way, I don't know what I keep telling y'all.
I just saw him also miss 2 go-ahead buckets too.
It's all right.
He did. Right. And AQ, you know what else I was gonna say that you was crazy to prove your point, kind of. This run that they went on, Joel Embiid was on the bench when they came back in this game.
Bruh, I'm saying
so. They were down 10 when he sat down, and now it's back tied. Mm-hmm. So there you go. They brought him back, and that's when it kind of slowed down a little bit.
Absolutely.
But they had all the momentum when he was sitting down.
Absolutely. But, I mean, just because James Harden missing in the clutch don't mean he's not back.
No, I know.
That sounds like James Harden back to me. I don't know about y'all.
It just, I think, if anything, I was thinking about, like, why are they running? Why are they doing that? So I was thinking more about coaching.
Yeah, no.
While Joel Embiid shoots a 3,
the whole city thinks about the coaching. Mm-hmm. The whole city thinks about coaching with this team.
Why are you shooting that, bro? Like, why are you behind the 3-point line?
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the offense. I don't understand the looks and this is like, it's just unserious, man. But We ain't gonna get back on.
Just
This
get down
last
low,
2
and then
minutes.
if somebody misses, you can grab. I don't know.
It's-
What was Tracy G had another one. Trading for Harden was the Nets' biggest mistake. I
Yeah.
don't fully disagree with that.
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
was. It definitely was when you have to trade Jared Allen, who I think probably is top 3 defensive player of the year candidate this year. You have to trade Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, a whole bunch of young talent guys that help you out.
That was the
Dinwiddie,
last on it. My bad.
you know what I mean?
And that was-
Dinwiddie. That was a trade that I think depletes your depth and versatility even on defense. You know what I mean? You can't even not even that you traded besides Allen crazy defensive players, but it's better than Patty Mills and Seth Curry. Like, come on, dude. Damn.
But where were we on that at that time? I can't remember. Were we in agreement with that trade?
Oh no, you definitely had to make the move. It's James Harden in his prime. Like that was James Harden. But
it didn't work out.
it didn't work out.
Yeah, this is definitely hindsight 2020.
Yeah, hindsight.
Yeah,
No.
I really couldn't remember what our take was on that.
Because when all 3 of those dudes were on the court, it really was an onslaught of offense that was unstoppable. Like they played 6 games together. It looked like murder. It was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So for the fact that when James was the point, Kyrie was the 2, KD was the 3, it was just too much of it was just like genius offensively. So you couldn't really do anything with it. Now that James is gone, you're seeing the hole that has been left. And now it's like, damn, bro, we traded Allen all for this to be what? Maybe not even the same team in a year from now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's like I think the record. I don't remember the stat, so I'm gonna guess but it was something like 13-4 or whatever. I think it was really good when all 3 played, and that was the thing that they didn't play together a lot, and so it turned out to be a mistake because they weren't healthy, or it was one reason or another. But wow, that was a good ass fucking cut. And lack of hustle to get the rebound. So that's why I'm saying this is definitely hindsight 2020, because collectively when they played all together, they were, like Q said and reminded us, they were great. It's the fact that they just didn't play together. So, and that was it. This is going to be interesting to see. Oh, he's going to try to take. He wants to be. Bruh, what are you doing? I'm sorry, y'all. Like, he can hit that shot. I think Joel wants to be.
PJ Tucker is such a dog,
and clutch so bad down the stretch.
Yeah, PJ.
PJ is everything we needed on this team, yo.
Yeah, I was gonna say losing PJ for Milwaukee hurts Milwaukee tremendously.
Yeah, definitely.
PJ was nice with that team because that's what Giannis needed. He needed an enforcer.
Oh, that's in. That's in.
That looks in too. Yeah,
that's a Dennis Rodman save. That's one of them. Good shit, PJ. Nah, like all those loose ball, 50-50 balls, we needed those. We need a guy like PJ.
If nobody else on that team gets that ball.
Nobody.
Besides PJ. Because nobody else cared to dive that much to get that ball like that.
No.
But now it's like, what is like, now that they're gonna get the ball, what are they gonna do? The way Harden is playing right now, he's hot, he's feeling it. I would definitely run something for Harden and not give it back to Embiid.
I'm running a Harden floater with the Embiid fake pick and roll. I'm running Embiid and Harden to the basket, and I'm just telling Harden go for the floater. I don't care.
Tracy G, while we're on this game, say how many years are we gonna say Joel will play himself into shape? Joel should be traded and Maxey take over. Let him be the guy.
God, Tracy be wanting everybody traded, but Tracy want him gone.
Get his ass out. Get him out. Get him at. Get him at.
I do agree with you, Tracy. He needs to be in shape, but at this point we shouldn't be saying that anymore. Not if it matters. If we talk about him being the MVP, the top guy, we shouldn't have to wait on him to play himself into shape.
Dang, Andy Dalton threw back-to-back pick sixes?
Yes, he did.
That's
I just looked at it. That game is 28-14 now.
Dang, man, that's wild. Well, looks like I got that pick wrong. It was, but
Man, they got
Cardinals
It
are
was
bad.
looking good though. I mean, I turned it on it.
It honestly,
Saints.
I mean the right pick was the Cardinals, but the Cardinals are so bad. I just felt like I thought the Saints may have pulled something out, but yeah, I see it's in Arizona, and
Let's go.
yeah, and it's Andy Dalton. So I mean, shit, it was him or Jameis Winston. Pick one, you get the same results. If you ask
Still
me.
gonna get the picks.
Mm-hmm.
But they were moving the ball at will at first. That first quarter, they controlled the first quarter. They had the ball for 9 minutes on one drive in the first quarter, and he threw an interception in the end zone. They were running things.
So he has
point.
Wait. So the interception he threw in the end zone was that
No, that wasn't
was
a
that
pick
one of
six.
the
He's
big
thrown
sixes,
3
or that was
interceptions.
another pick?
That was another pick.
So he has 3 and 2 pick sixes.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been a rough one.
Yeah. So anyway, nah. I
He
mean,
got
I
2
like
touchdown
Maxey. I don't
passes.
think they have to trade Maxey. I mean, trade Joel. But now would be a good time to do it. You could probably get hella picks for him. Yes, Rob. I picked the Saints, bro.
Damn, you picked the Saints.
Damn. I never said I was good. I tell everybody every year we do this that I'm terrible at picking games. So I said, so yeah.
You paid PJ Tucker $37 million to make plays like this in the playoffs, by the way.
Yeah.
This is what you're paying for, to make a steal, to bat a ball back in bounds and hit 2 clutch free throws and defend Giannis at the Kubo.
That's what I'm about to say. Look who's guarding Giannis down the stretch.
Exactly.
PJ.
Like, come on now.
That was a bad read, Giannis. He had the big man wide
open. God, I knew they were gonna catch that. The Bucks such a well-oiled machine, man. Because that's what happens when you have a fucking coach. I'm sorry. It's so ridiculous, man. Like, this dude, Doc Rivers, is such a dinosaur, man.
Bro, how did
that was a hell of a play. He was yelling at PJ. He was yelling at PJ just now. I wonder what PJ. I need to go back and look at that play and see what PJ did wrong. Doc was yelling at PJ.
Man.
Yeah,
James got to have the ball. I'm sorry. This is James Harden's team, as far as I'm concerned, and James Harden is going to play like he played when he first got to the Nets. Joel Embiid is an inferior talent to that player.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what PJ did, but he definitely. So he
didn't do nothing. That wasn't his man.
That wasn't his man. Embiid rolled hard and jumped on a Grayson Allen drive, which makes no damn sense. Like, stay on your feet.
Right. That's out there between that's Thibault and Tobias Harris.
Yep.
Tobias Harris cheated down.
Yep.
That was Tobias Harris.
Tobias should have took his man up, or at least communicated, or somebody probably talked, or somebody didn't talk. Most of the time when a thing like that happened. Oh yeah, let's rewatch this.
Yeah, that was Tobias. That was all on Tobias because he crashed.
They did all that work just to move on some shit like
he
that.
He overhelped. Come on, yo.
Yeah, he did, and then he was late. He was late rotating. So if you're gonna help, you come early.
Matisse is literally telling you go up, bro. Come on now.
But then who was Thibault guarding? Because Thibault could have rotated up. Who was he guarding?
I think Thibault was on Drew.
He was on. He was on. Who was that shot that? He was on Wesley Matthews.
And then he told him to go up.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to see James Harden. I just want to take it down to the wire and let's go for it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to kind of live with this at this point.
All right, they're showing it now. So yeah, he did jump up, but PJ stayed.
Joel should not have the last shot here. Joel should not have the last shot here. This dude cannot pass the ball, bro. Stop giving Joel Embiid the ball in the clutch. This makes no sense. This makes no sense, bro. Like, what are you looking at as a coach? It hit Maxey. He can't pass that ball, bro. And this is why you fucking lose in the playoffs. It's not injuries. It's not they hate the process. It's you can't make a simple play that other superstars can make when it really matters.
Oh, and it went off his finger too.
Yes,
It
it went off
man.
Maxey.
I get what you Q. This is proving your point 100%. Exactly what you're saying, because a lot of times people, when you first said this, it seemed kind of outlandish, and a lot of people would take that like a hot take. But if you're watching it, you're seeing exactly what you said. Like, why would that ball not run through James Harden? Why would that not be a pick and roll?
Come on, bro.
Put Embiid in position to be the receiver of that, not the orchestrator.
Like, this is not some Patrick Ewing. Like, this is not 1996, dude. Like, come on now. What are we doing, man?
Even then, though, even when they did, they would give Patrick the ball where he can operate. They wouldn't try to give it to him to make him create it. Hakeem had moves, but they would put it where he wanted it and let him go from there, not from the beginning. He wasn't starting to play. He was finishing it. And in this, they clearly had Joel Embiid ISO, which they shouldn't have been doing. It should have been James Harden, pick and roll, something. Because the last time they ran the pick and roll, Embiid was wide open when he took the three.
Yep.
The only difference was instead of rolling, he stepped back and shot a three instead of crashing to the basket with a wide open layup.
And even then, these refs got that call wrong. They just giving us the ball. So
yeah, that is wrong. Like you can see his hand, his finger.
Oh wow!
His finger moved. Yeah, I don't understand that. Vegas called.
Oh wow!
They're not gonna give you that call. They're not gonna give James that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Take the shot, bro. You don't get those calls anymore. I hate that shit too.
You're not getting that call, bro.
Honestly, if I can rewind this, Joel should have got that rebound though, bro. I like it. He got past this guy, but once they didn't call that on Allen, you should have known they're not going to call the contact.
But once again, Q, it goes back to your point. I'm giving you all the props tonight because you've been spot on. What play was that?
Like, what is that?
What is that?
It wasn't a play.
What is that? What offense is that? Like what are you?
We should, in high school, 9 seconds left, we had one play. We had that play. Like, this is the play we're going to run right here. So we can get either we're going to get fouled or we're going to get a bucket or we're going to get the best shot possible.
Yes.
This is that play.
Yes.
And maybe
No, Sheldon, there's nothing to it besides the fact that this is how Doc Rivers runs his offenses. Everything is just very simple drive and kick concepts. That's some 1991 bullshit. This is not what bro. This is no longer the league of James Worthy and Dominique Wilkins, bro. Like, Doc is so antiquated, bro. I'm not saying that he's just a basketball buffoon. I'm saying that the moment is past. The moment is clearly past. I'm not saying that he can't have success anywhere else. But in terms of him being a title contending coach, Nick is obviously very hyperbolic. But Nick is correct in his assessment at the core when he says 2008, he is living off of that. Think about this. We giving Doc Rivers all this credit because he had Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, and Kevin Garnett in their primes. And
did you see
and only got one ring out of it.
Hey, did you see the interview? I saw it on something, but they were talking to KG and somebody else they were talking to, and they say, be for real, man. Did y'all Paul Pierce and KG. They were saying, be for real. Did y'all just say the hell what Doc talking about and do exactly what Rondo said? Did Rondo call plays on the court? And they was like, nah, we didn't. It was Paul Pierce that was doing it. So Paul Pierce would be like, Doc would call a play and say, go on the left side. Mm-hmm. And Paul Pierce was like, damn all that. I'm going over here. Y'all give me the ball. I'm finna win this game.
Exactly.
So they were talking about that on the show, exactly what you said. Like, they ran their own team for the most part. Mm-hmm. When it mattered most, they were calling their own plays. Mm-hmm. So he would draw it up on that clipboard. They would scrap all that, get on the court, and call the plays they wanted to run.
Mm-hmm. I want I want to transition to the team that the Sixers are playing because this is actually a pivotal year for, I think, the Bucks, Giannis's team. Where we stand with Giannis right now is I think he's eligible for his extension next summer. He can extend from the Supermax that he just got next summer. But it's going to be interesting if he does that because the way that the team is constructed, Middleton with, his money, Drew Holiday, his money, they're all getting up there a little bit older. And Giannis has made comments, I think, in the last 12 months that he's just like, I love Milwaukee. And Giannis is very honest whenever he gives his interviews. And he said, I love Milwaukee. But truth be told, you never know. I might go somewhere else very soon. Who knows? He was dead serious. He wasn't joking. He was like, we got to see how things go. But I delivered my part. I did my part for the city. I love being here. But time passes and I might go somewhere else. So as Drew and Middleton and these guys get older, like I just said, Brook Lopez, guys open up for extensions and whatnot. They reach the end of their contracts. It makes this season so much more pivotal for the Bucks because if they don't have a deep playoff run, do you all think Giannis looks at the team and says, maybe I should just ride out the rest of this contract, or should I re-up in my Milwaukee for life? You know what I mean? Middleton, he's always hurt. Drew getting older. What's my window here?
Yeah, I think he does look to go elsewhere because of the if they have trouble, like you said, winning it this year, they're going to lose some of those guys. And the fact that it's hard to draw free agents to a Milwaukee, you may want to get somewhere where you can kind of get some wins. He did the LeBron thing. He brought a championship there, which is huge. That's why you don't hear much negative talk about Milwaukee anymore, period, because he did the impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the city, he owes the city nothing. Mm-hmm. So in saying that, I would not be surprised to see him move on to greener pastures and somewhere else and try to make a name for himself.
Absolutely. How do you feel?
I don't know. I know he's very honest, but he doesn't seem like the guy that would be quick to bounce like that. He got his ring. He wanted in Milwaukee. For me now, I'm watching to see if that was just that was just a good run that he had. But would he leave and go elsewhere based on the talent? I don't know. It never seemed like he cared all that much about who was around him. He didn't really complain about Middleton all that much, and Middleton development became a better guy that could actually help him. So I don't know, man. I think Giannis feels like as long as I'm on the team, then you can put anybody around me and I'm going to make it happen.
I feel that because even if he ends up going to a place like Los Angeles or whatever, it still has to be a team that Giannis feels as though it's being built for him. You know what I mean? So, what teams right now you think could even make a case for Giannis, in the next, 2-3 years? What Miami, post LeBron, Lakers? What you think? Maybe the Knicks would probably say something to him.
Pretty good.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
AD and Giannis, that'd be pretty interesting.
If I'm Giannis, Miami's great because I know the culture and I know what Pat Riley's going to do if he's still around.
Mm-hmm. Another team.
I would not go to Chicago.
Hell no, I wouldn't go to Chicago. Another team that I wanted to bring up that kind of we can bridge is this Dallas. Luka might join Giannis. You know what I mean? The way that this team look.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? Just like the two year shit. Can you imagine Luka and Giannis on the same team, dude? That actually would be filthy. But you just see the 2 Euros linking up. I think that'd be interesting. Dallas last night losing to the Phoenix Suns. Damian Lee, he had to show CP3 what it means to be a champion.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, let me show you what it really means to, do it in the clutch. Luka, where do we stand this year? Is it MVP, finals appearance, is it Western Conference Finals and that's all we expect? What like does the NBA media? I guess my question more so is: does the NBA media are they going to crucify him the same way that they crucified Giannis all those years when he couldn't get to the finals when he was 26?
No, Nick Wright
No.
may, but
No. Yeah.
absolutely not. They've already crowned him, so they're just waiting for him to do what they've said he's going to do. Kind of like LeBron, to be honest. You know, LeBron was crowned; they were just waiting on the rings. You know, and then that was it. But nah, I don't think so, man. And a lot of the analytics guys love Giannis. You know, a lot, but I don't see that happening. I think Luka's safe. I think Joker's safe. But I think everybody else, they in trouble.
Yeah, you're right. Ken is right wholeheartedly. As long as they don't fumble the bag in these players, and what I mean by that is not wins and losses. I mean, if they sneaking and join up in a couple of these games, then they may catch some heat, I think. But for the most part, they would have to be awful, and that's not going to happen. They're always going to get some points. They're always going to do something to where, and part of it definitely is the color of their skin, but they're going to find a way to get it off on the other players. But nah, he can't. He's not going to ever catch that kind of heat because they always say he don't have the help. It's always going to be on somebody else. It's always going to be that. You know what I'm saying? Even the loss last night, you know, they're going to look at the players around him like somebody else should have stepped up and helped them out.
I guess, it's just, for me, Dallas is in a pretty interesting situation right now where Christian Wood put up 13 points in, I think, like 5-6 minutes and brought Dallas back. But beyond that, Spencer Dinwiddie, Kleba, a couple guys here and there, but nothing that really moves me as a second guy. And I think that's where Dallas is at. They need to be identifying who can be the second man, who can be this. And I think that may be the trade that they have to make. I don't know who would want to willingly come to Dallas to sit next to Luka. I certainly, let me tell you right now, my black ass would not be the one to go sitting next to Luka like he Larry Bird and shit. That's not happening. Like, I'm not about to be number 2. Being next to the magical white man. I'm not doing that. But there's a couple of the guys that probably, could obviously fit well from an offensive scheme. But Dallas is in a very interesting situation because Luka could get very unhappy in the next couple of months, or he could feel like he's in a great situation and Dallas is his throne. So this season,
I think he likes not having a second guy.
Think so? Like, just it's him, yeah.
Man. I get the feeling that he wants it to be all him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him really complain all that much about it unless I just haven't been paying attention. Missed it. He didn't seem too thrilled when Kristaps were there, and Kristaps definitely wasn't happy with him. Luka, I know he gets a lot of assists, but Luka's a ball hog. And I think Luka wants all the credit. But whether it's scoring and or giving all the assists and stuff like that, that's the feeling that I get from him. And it's been successful up to this point. I think this team is through him and with the addition of Christian Wood, who I think should be starting, especially over JaVale McGee. I think I got an idea what they're trying to do, but nah, man. Like, and I don't think Christian Wood was too happy about that either. He's just been a team player.
He wasn't.
He tweeted LOL when the report came out because they didn't tell him. I don't think They just it came out in the media. He said, "LOL, I'm going to come on the bench, huh?" But
he said, I guess,
he's over JaVale. But I get what I guess it's more so the Warriors kind of thing they're trying to do. Like, let's start JaVale for the first 4 minutes of the game and switch him out for offense.
Well, I guess they're doing what we're saying the Sixers should kind of do with Tobias Harris. I don't see where that should be a problem. And the only reason I say that is because you got firepower on the floor, and with that second unit, you bring in a Christian Wood, nobody can touch him.
Yeah.
But and they said it down the stretch. They're like, it's really not who starts, but who finishes. But if he's not comfortable coming off the bench, then we need to make a change.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I hope that Christian Wood can embrace that role because it's because Jason Kidd can coach his ass off, dude. Like if Jason Kidd was this Sixers coach, bro, it's just like
Mm.
I look at the creativity of just what Jason Kidd can do with guys. Tim Hardaway Jr. If you look at Dorian Finney-Smith, I always bring up Max Kleber. Always, even when they sign guys like Campazzo, watch him become a guy for them. You know what I mean? Trey Burke, like they always become these little 10-point per game, 8-point per game, 4 assists per game scorers. And it's just they all feel these 6 made threes a game. It's just like he finds roles. That is what a great coach has to do, man. You have to be able to like identify not only the personality of your players and to be able to talk and coach them, literally teach them shit, but you have to know like realistically what can this person do for us in game at a moment's notice. And that's where adjustments come in at. Because, yeah, you might need to have Trey Burke come in and give you some offense, a couple years ago, when you're Dallas. But then there are some games where he might only play 4 minutes. You know what I mean? And that's fine. Rivers is not like that. Not going back on Doc, but that's where we are with Dallas, man.
Yeah, I was surprised Phoenix came back and won that game.
Right? Yeah.
Damian Lee.
No, definitely.
Yeah, that was interesting. It seemed like and I think it was a good win. They needed to do that after the way Luka owned them in the playoffs. So they kind of needed to get that off their back and to do it in that fashion. But yeah, I was somewhat surprised that happened. But yeah, they did it. And I thought I would, now that Cam Johnson's starting, I really thought I would see a little bit more from him. I know it's early, it's just one game, but
the Suns keep doing that cheap ass shit where they didn't want to extend him. So they had issues with Aiden. They didn't want to give him money. Cameron Johnson, I think he was searching for an extension, but now he's going to enter restricted free agency. And somebody's going to want him because, dude, Cameron Johnson is your prototypical, 6'6" through 6'8", small forward. Exactly. Like, drive, kick, dish, assist. You know what I mean? Play D. Simple. So it's like the Suns, man, they're right on the brink of blow it up for me. I don't care about that win last night in all fairness. Like as much as Damian Lee, great shot. That reeked of desperate. When Damian Lee is hitting your game winners, that's desperation.
Yeah.
That's nah.
Yeah, and I said, he led that comeback completely. Like he was hitting some big shots down the stretch, and that was just the combination of it. That last shot that was like you said, that desperation shot at that's you can't expect to win that way every night. You were at home, so you had the best record in the league last year. They should have definitely took their game a lot easier than what was going on.
Yeah, man. So I have a couple more things. Just wanted to get some rapid fire things. Just some over unders for certain players. Over under for games played. I'm gonna say over under regular season games played. Let's say 55. Over under Kawhi Leonard. Where are you all at? 55 regular season games played.
Shit, that's even.
I'll take the over. I think he set out all of last year, all of the playoffs, so he'll give him 55. He better.
Yeah. He'll be right at even. It'll probably be right at 55 to 60.
55, 60. I see that. Okay, cool. All right. Damian Lillard over under 65 games.
Over.
He'll be over.
Okay. All right. Zion Williamson. 68 games. Over under.
Over.
Under.
Over.
I'm taking the under on 68 games.
I say it's definitely going to be under because he's on my fantasy team and I know he's injury prone. It's definitely going to fucking happen.
I see that.
I don't think they're going to let that happen this year, Ken. I think they're going to really, really monitor him and watch everything that's going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
and handle him with kid gloves. But I think he's gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
How many games you said?
I said 68 for Zion.
68, yeah.
Over under 45 games played combined for the Denver trio of Murray, Jokic, and Porter.
Porter's gonna hurt him.
All three 45 games. Over under.
But I think all three together.
Mm-hmm. Available.
Over.
Under. I don't think Porter is gonna make it through the season.
Damn. Okay. I'd probably say over. I think they might get 50 games played together. That sounds like that even sounds like a stretch to me. Because Murray, I don't know, man. I guess we'll see about that. Donovan Mitchell, All-Star or not this season in the East?
He
yeah, he will be.
Gotta remember Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. You know what I mean? There's still a bunch
He'll
of
beat
Chris
out Zach
Middleton.
LaVine.
Chris Middleton is there.
Yeah, I'll say All-Star, man. I think he has the name.
Mhm.
Jimmy.
I think he has the name enough to get him there.
Yeah. I can see that.
So yeah, I like him as All-Star,
I can
but
see that.
you know,
Anthony Edwards, All-Star or not in the West?
Yeah,
Man, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough.
Just gut feeling.
No,
I think so.
I think
I think so too.
I was kind of upset last night because he scored 10 last night. He was what, 4th or 5th on the team in scoring last night.
He
And I
had
know that's not
11
going to happen
last
every.
night.
Yeah, and I know that's not going. They won the game, and that's what matters. But I know that's not going to happen every night. But at the same time, I just think they're eating up some of that share. I don't like the people around him. I think that they're going to be in his way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what I because I saw the low points too, but I saw he had 7 assists. So I was like, you know, okay, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I wanted to see how it went down. But I like that he made up for it in other areas.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and that's a sign of maturity for sure.
Absolutely. Yes or no, Ja Morant MVP top 3 candidate this year?
You said Ja?
Top 3 MVP candidate this year for Ja?
No.
you have Luka, you have Joker again.
I think Tatum could sneak in there this year.
I could see it. They
I don't
ready
think
for him. I think media pundits and everybody was upset that he went out the way he did.
Yep.
Joker, Luka. Who's that third guy?
Uh,
My sleeper is Steph. The way he started off last night.
That's who I had, Q. I said that the other night. I said this, matter of fact, I put it on Reddit today. I said that Steph is my sleeper candidate for the MVP. Don't be surprised if LeBron doesn't get some nods too, even though they may not play well. I think that they're gonna say LeBron at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he might get 2 like 3rd place votes or something. You know, guys.
Yeah, LeBron's.
He's
over.
now Cristiano Ronaldo, man. You know what I mean? It's just
it's over, bro.
It's now become a marvel that he can just do it now. It's like, all right, like we don't like. There's no longer, unless you're a diehard Laker fan and you got Kobe shrines in your bedroom, you're not expecting shit from the Lakers this year,
right?
You know what I mean? But it's just the fact that LeBron can just this Herculean sport that he can perform at damn near 40. You know what I mean? So it's amazing. But another question I got. So Orlando Magic. If you have been paying attention to the Orlando Magic's roster, they have a pretty solid little thing going. This little thing going on down there in Orlando with Paolo, Bobo, Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony. Am I crazy? Let me Wagner. Franz Wagner is probably one of the 3 most underrated players in the NBA.
White boy, get off, man.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this. Just a yes or no. Am I crazy for thinking Orlando could maybe do a play-in? Maybe could make a run at the play-in this season?
No, they won't. They won't. And the only reason I say they won't is not because of talent. They're trending in the right direction, but just like we see in Detroit, A, they're young. B, you got some injury issues with some of those guys a couple times. And I think that's what'll hurt them more than anything else. The fact that they're young and having to play through injuries. And different people are out at different times. You know, you're getting some of these guys back, but some of these guys, you know, they got to get acclimated to playing basketball again. So it's like you got a bunch of kids out there. So I think that's what's going to hurt them. But they're trending in the right direction.
I mean, is it crazy? That's all I'm saying, Ken. Like playing, like, is it that crazy for the talent that they have to maybe make a push for it? You know what I mean? In the East,
they didn't look like they were just out there playing. They looked like that's the game I watched. They looked like they were playing to win.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like what Wagner was doing. Paolo, bro, like he really like had that competitive fire. And that's what I liked about him. Like he was out there to try to win that game. And Jalen Suggs didn't show a lot of like rah-rah, but shit, he had like 3 or 4 threes in a row. So if the coaching is right, I think they could probably be there, man. If they figure out who that core unit is gonna be, with Paolo, Suggs, Cole Anthony coming back, Wagner,
Wendell Carter Jr.
Finally, Bo. Everybody been waiting on him.
Yeah. He like the basketball version of Detox. You know what I mean? Like we've been waiting on him.
Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
Wendell Carter Jr., who, you know, I think they had to get him out of the game at certain parts, but I was with you, Q. I don't know if it was because they were playing Detroit and they're very young as well, that it looked different. But I was like, man, I don't know, man. These boys,
I'll keep my eye on them.
Problem.
I'm keeping my eye on them, man. Like Paolo,
RJ,
Paolo looks like the best qualities just on offense. From what I see, the best parts of his offensive game, it looks like the best parts of Tatum and Julius Randle's game.
So, yeah, that's a good comp.
You know what I mean?
That's a good comp. He's really on that, especially the Tatum part. He's really on that level. He's gonna be one of those. Hey, what did I see? RJ only played 11 minutes. I didn't watch too much of that game last night. What did he do? Anything?
RJ Hampton or RJ Barrett?
Hampton.
I didn't see much from him from what I saw. I kind of just kept flipping back and forth between seeing Ivy and seeing Zion and Ingram. But I know that RJ Hampton is always talked about as a guy who puts in hella work on his game. So I love the fact that Orlando has like this little last chance you thing going on down there, man. They got all the little NBA top blue ribbon, you know, rejects, quote unquote, that no one wanted, or guys that feel like they got counted out, or guys that just didn't have the right situation around them. And, you know, if they're going to be bad again this year, dude, add in another blue chip piece of shit. Imagine Scoot Henderson on this team.
Right.
Dude, what? Imagine Victor on this team. You know what I mean? Oh, come on now.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Either one of those is a wrap.
Exactly.
And you got what you want to see for the next 5 to 7 years.
Exactly.
I would, for the record, I would never ask about RJ Barrett.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. I just wanted to see if you were just trying to troll Nick real quick. I'm like, are you serious?
Hey, 3 for 18 last night. By the way,
yeah, that is. God bless.
What did Jalen Brunson do?
Jalen Brunson brought him back as far as he could. Jalen
Brunson,
he looks like he's going to be the stabilizing guy that they need.
Yeah,
that's what they need.
But
he's definitely their point guard. Like, I do believe in that. I do believe that the Knicks made the right choice in getting that. But they have to find the blue chip talent. He's not a blue chip guy. He's very much so
lunch pail.
He's luxury D Fish. Luxury.
I didn't get a chance to. Yeah, I got you. I didn't get a chance to see Jabari play, but the box score looked good. Did you get a chance to catch him?
I saw his highlights. He's solid, man. The shot looks good. I think he's gonna bulk up. Obviously, he think this is gonna be his thing. He has to do a little bit more muscle.
I like what Houston got over there, man.
KPJ, Josh Christopher.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's looking good. yeah, a lot of the rookies, man, like look really, really solid out the gate.
Mhm.
And I was actually thinking about that conversation you and FIFO had about like the NBA league talent will overflow they won't have enough roster spots for them.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah.
know, just seeing these guys come in, just watching Paulo, man, watching Ivy, bro.
Mhm.
Like I was like,
Yeah.
yo, that's crazy. Then looking at and how he just fit right in with Cade, and what
Mhm.
Cade was just picking up where he left off, and how Cade just jumped right in last year. Like Pistons, man, look really fucking solid. I was trying to
Right.
see if B was free to come on and talk about it, but he might be gaming. But I was really impressed with another guy like Ivy looked like he belonged. Like
Yes.
he wasn't intimidated. It's like he stepped on the court and was like, "This is what I'm supposed to play." And I don't care if it's grown men on here that's been playing 5 years
Mhm.
or more. You
Mhm.
know, I'm with you guys, and I was like, "Dang, man!" I was really impressed, man.
Mhm. No,
Yeah, I didn't
absolutely.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jabari and Ivy were the two guys I was the most high on coming into this draft. And of course, I knew what Pablo was going to do, but we all should have known he was going. Well, not that good, but still, we knew he was going to be solid. But like you said, these drafts are getting deeper and deeper. You can get some quality talent as late as the second round, and it's
Mhm.
not a question about whether these guys are going to make the team or not.
Mhm.
Case in point, what was PJ drafted? PBJ Patrick Baldwin was drafted
Mhm.
by the Golden
Second
State
round.
late. So, you know, you can get, and he's going to be a solid guy in the league.
Mhm.
So there's talent all over the place. There's true
Mhm.
talent. Drink more water, you're correct. Shaden Sharp looked good in his first
Bro,
game.
even Portland looks good with their young guys. Like, there's gonna be some
Right.
guys like Shaden Sharp. You're talking about Simons, all these guys that Nasir Little. Like what I mean, they have guys that are gonna find niches in the league, man. That I think that's just the way that we're headed now, where too many spots are gonna be just taken, and there's just gonna be an overflow of all right. Let's open up a Seattle team. All right, time for a Vegas team.
Got to be a Vegas team, yeah.
It's just like it's just time for two more teams. It's just that simple. Like there are guys that are overseas right now playing. You find the best guys in the best Euro leagues, the best guys in the G League, the best guys that are fringe, journeymen, and there's enough of those guys to make good teams. Add in more spots in the draft, blue chip talent. You'll find guys, and you'll be
Right.
able to completely stock up two cities full of amazing players. So I'm not tripping, man. But last couple questions, Sheldon, and I wanted to actually bring you in on this one. Speaking of last chance, what the hell is Michael doing in Charlotte? Because there is an arrest, there is a search warrant, there is coke, drugs, weed, assault and battery every week in Charlotte. Man, what's going on?
We won yesterday by 27, so I'm kind of.
I mean,
You saw I try to deflect off that. Man, listen, I was reading an article yesterday, which is crazy because I was thinking, like, somebody asked me this the other day. On Tuesday, somebody asked, I saw what they said, is this the worst time in Charlotte sports history? And I was thinking to myself, it is. Well, I saw an article and it said it wasn't. I forgot about the time. I forgot what year it was. But it was like 4 deaths in sports in Charlotte where the Ray Carew situation, Fred Lane was the leading running back at the time when the Panthers got shot by his girl. Bobby Fields had the car accident that same year. And got killed. And then Dale Earnhardt died that same year. So that was the worst year in Charlotte sports history, losing all those people and all that turmoil that was going on at the time. Plus, the teams weren't playing that good. But this stuff is just kind of crazy. And what's funny is I figured, and I started to say it like Charlotte's gonna beat these boys down. I don't know why I felt like that. One, because LaMelo wasn't playing, and I thought the ball was gonna move a little more. And it would just be more focused, and that's exactly what happened. But I don't see it sustaining this long. I don't know what Michael's doing right now. I really don't. The only thing I can think of is we are tanking for Victor because we're playing first and second year players. If you look at that roster up and down the list, it's only Terry Rozier, and Gordon Hayward, and Miles Plumlee, and a bunch of kids. That's what you got. And I'm not knocking them because I think they got some talented young guys. It's just they could have constructed that roster a little bit better to win, and I don't think that they were thinking that way at all. We had 2 high draft picks this year. We traded away Durden, who I was very upset about. I don't know if you saw me in the chat last night, but I was losing it because this guy, Durden, is going to be a unique talent. Man, he's going to be a unique talent in the league, and he's already showing it. But we traded him to Detroit. We also traded that other pick where I wanted Obanyabe, whatever his name is, from Kansas, shooter, because we needed another shooter, two guard. I thought that he was perfect fit. And we picked up Mark Williams from Duke. And he's talented enough, but he doesn't even play. He's not even in the rotation. And we talk about all these rookies. He's not in that group because he can't get on the floor. So I'm kind of like, what's the point? I don't see where that made sense to draft him and not play him. So, like I said, I think that they're looking to get one of those high draft picks to get either one of those two guys. That's the goal in Charlotte, I think, to pair with LaMelo. And that's just being real. But as far as the rest go, I don't know I don't know what's going on with them boys, man. Just not making good decisions.
It's a bunch of fuckery going on down there in Charlotte. That's what you said.
It is.
Like it's a bunch of bullshit because it's like what you got assault and batteries, you got domestic violence charges, you got niggas getting caught up with drugs in the car, you got people staying out late after curfews. It's like what is happening, man? Like
I have no idea.
So that's one team, and I haven't seen LaMelo Ball play an ounce of defense yet. He didn't play yesterday, obviously. Without LaMelo, y'all won, great. But I need him to show me that he actually cares about wanting to win basketball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Sheldon, if he's just gonna be, I'm here to hoop and just having fun. All right, then I'm not going to expect anything from you. But the way he carries himself is like, I'm him, all that, young,
right.
Hoop, all that young Instagram hoop kid shit. It's like, all right, if y'all think y'all so nice, then all right, go win. You know what I mean? Y'all shouldn't bottom out every last half of the year. Y'all should ascend finally. But
right, and I think in the very thing that you're talking about is you want to see improvement. And I do too. I think that making the All-Star team last year, y'all know I'm a huge LaMelo fan. I always, he's on my squad. I gotta like him, and I do like him anyway. But I want to see him ascend. I want to see him go home for the summer and be like, I'm tired of getting put out in the play-in game. I need to go further. I need to carry this team and be the leader. So I need to have him leading by example in the training room. Like, get yourself in shape to be better. We talk about Ant making that step. LaMelo needs to be a step above Ant, no matter what, in my opinion. That's just how I look at it. And and my brother talked about it all the time. Like, he's like, man, I don't see a difference. He's like, it looks just like it did last year, look just like it did the year before. It looks the same. Mm-hmm. And he was like, we need to see an elevation. We need to see something added to the bag. We know he can make those passes. We know what he can do with the basketball. What else can you do? Can you stop somebody? You know what I'm saying? That next level. And that's where I'm confused. And Kenny Atkinson took this job. I don't know if y'all remember this, but I remember it clearly. He took this job, and then at the last minute, he backed out of the deal. I'm like, why would you turn down a head coaching job? But I think he saw the writing on the wall. It's just, they tripping.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's a lack of control with how they run the program for the players. I don't know if it's a lack of team continuity. I don't know if it's a lack of maturity. I don't know if it's MJ being too hands-on. I don't know, whatever it is. But one thing is for certain that, generally speaking, if you're trying to build a young team and people are straying away from the cohesion of, riding for each other and making good decisions that are conducive to winning, you have to look at the top down. There's just nothing else to it. Like, and that's why I look at, MJ, because this starts with you. how the players act starts with you. I don't care what no one says. If players are running around like it's Grand Theft Auto, then it's like you're either condoning it or you're ignorant to it. And both are inexcusable, from the coaching level to the execs level to the ownership. And obviously the players have to take responsibility for themselves and their actions as well. But Charlotte is too talented of a team, I feel like, to not be in play-ins at least. That has to happen. But but yeah, man. It's going to be a very exciting NBA season. I think that there's a multitude of teams that can make noise. I think there's probably about a good 6 or 7 real championship contenders this year. Probably 5 or 6, honestly. But yeah, man, we're gonna probably come back by the mid-season, do mid-season updates and predictions on the MVP and stuff like we just did. So that is all I had for NBA week. If y'all had NFL stuff, we can tap in with that, read some super chats, and get up out of here.
Yeah, I don't have any NFL stuff. Saints just scored again. I mean, Cardinals just scored again, 35-17 now. But yeah. Well, maybe they didn't score. But I got Hopkins. At least he's back.
I was gonna say that Hopkins, he got 8 catches. He's making a difference for Kyler a little bit, not not huge, but
yep. So I only have 2 super chats left. So we got Tracy G. Is Phoenix time over, and is New Orleans the next Golden State?
No, they're not the next Golden State. They might be the next complete 1 through 5 team. You know what I mean? Where everyone's a threat to, and everyone plays their role. There's no real weak, there's no real weak team. There's no real weak link in the team. Not necessarily, because even in Golden State, Draymond couldn't shoot. You know what I mean? Besides the first two seasons. After that, it went to hell. But Draymond can't shoot. But I think everyone on the Pelicans can make free throws. Everyone can, knock down open threes. So it's like, they're going to be their own unique little animal, especially with Zion being the beast that he is. So
yeah, they are the next solid team. Golden State is a very unique situation in the fact that you have those high level men at the top. You probably won't ever have a team that has 3 guys that's played together for as long as Clay, Steph, and Draymond. Well, you may have it again, but at that level for that long is very difficult to do. And also the fact that they were able to load from the bottom, so you have just as many young guns at the same time. So Golden State is very unique at a team that has veteran-laden stars and young gunners coming up, and then gunners to replace those gunners at the same time. So Golden State is super loaded. I'm talking about their 17th man has more talent than most 6 men on the NBA. Mm-hmm. So it's rare you're gonna get a team with that. They cut some players. They cut. I saw somebody asking who Quintarius Witherspoon was. They cut him, but he was a solid player for them down the stretch at times. So you got players all over the place that can hoop, but they just didn't have enough room for all the talent that they have, and that's very rare. So no, not Golden State.
And the other question was, is Phoenix over with? Yeah, I think they are. I don't really think there's anything much to that. Booker is trying to get to LA. I'll just say that now. So by the time that this whole little Phoenix thing is over, I expect for him to try to get to Los Angeles. That's where he wants to be at the end of the day. So
yeah, and I don't see Chris Paul doing much of anything.
Nope. Neither do I.
Yeah. And he was on the bench down the stretch on that run. So
yeah, I mean, he had a bad game, but again, it's just one game, so we'll see. But yeah, I think it's a wrap for them. They had their 2-year run, had 2 shots at it, and blew it. So, sometimes that's all you get. The last Onyx, top 5 NBA players and their rapper equivalent.
So
We
when
did
we
this
did
a while ago.
last year, all right, I'll give y'all my 5, and y'all can think of y'all since I don't want to hold y'all up, unless y'all got it, unless I inspire y'all. But I'll give you my top 5 players in the NBA, and I'll give you the comparison.
You gonna do them in order?
I can just rifle off of the 5 guys I think are the best right now. So Steph,
Drake,
Steph, Jokic. I'll say KD, Giannis, and Embiid. All right, I'll say those are my 5. So for me, Steph,
Drake.
I mean, you kind of got to go Drake. Honestly, like they both kind of came in on a wave, changed the whole game up. Light skin supremacy, sadly. It's really tragic time for hip hop. But
dominate radio.
Yeah, dominate radio, dominate the shoe game, dominate. You know what I mean? The commercials. Steph is love, man. So I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Embiid. I'm gonna think of Embiid. For me, Embiid is like. I'm gonna try to keep it more new school too, for real. And I'm gonna say personally, for me, Embiid is like, to me, he like Rick Ross, yo. Like to me, it's just like there's so much there that I just love musically. There's so much there that I think can even catapult you into a certain conversation of one of the best to ever do it. But there's just the little intangible things about winning, album creation, about Ross or Embiid that is just like holds me back from being fully in love with what they do. Where it's like certain things that decision here or these 4 songs here, but when they at their best, it's like, damn, are there really 20 guys, 5, 10 guys better than them right now? That's how I feel about Ross and Embiid. Luka, to me, Luka's Jack Harlow. Luka is definitely getting that. He's definitely getting that Jack Harlow buzz. You know, he's getting that KFC meal stimulus package. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna leave it at that. Jokic to me, Jokic is more like, I'll say it like this. Jokic is like a little baby. It's like, y'all keep telling me how incredible it is, and I see it, but y'all putting a lot on it. And it's like, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. It's already good enough. We don't have to do, like, this is the greatest shit. It's like, all right, this is really great, but no. And, you know what I'm saying? And then KD for me, KD is Wale. They both from DC. They both irritable. They both tweet. They both don't like when the media talks about them. But they are some of the most skilled niggas ever. Like Wale's one of the most skilled rappers ever. Wale probably I'd say Wale is a top 25 like pen ever in music and hip hop. But people think he's in, because he's so annoying and shit, right? But on a pure talent standpoint, KD and Wale, DC connect. You know what I'm saying? So shout out.
I was gonna say Ben Simmons. I was gonna say Ben Simmons or Kyrie is Kanye West. Take your pick because they both fucked up.
Man, no. Ben Simmons is Freddie Gibbs. Because stop talking. Just stop talking. Just stop talking. No, because every time you talk, bad shit happens to you. Like, but when you just play your game and just do you, it's pretty. It's great. But it's like, stop talking, yo. Kyrie is Kanye. It's just like when Kyrie's on his Kanye, that's where it's like, what are you saying, right? When Freddie Gibbs and Ben talk, is more so like, come on, bro, like you don't even believe that shit. You know what I mean? Like it's like when Gibbs talks about his beef with Benny, and he's like, yo, I don't care. I was in Buffalo Dolo. I don't care. I'll go again. Them niggas beat this shit out of you, Freddie. Stop. Like, come on, bro. And that's not even me trying to be tough. That's just like, yo, stop. Like, that's not what you went to Buffalo to do to get beat up. Come on, bro. The same way Ben says, oh, well, you think Giannis shoots? It's the same. Like, stop doing that. You know what I mean? So, guys like that, you know what I'm saying? Interesting, man.
But you didn't say who Giannis was.
Giannis. Giannis to me, man. That's actually such a good one. Giannis is probably. Giannis is like Conway, real shit. Like there's just like you can't fuck with him, bro. It's just like the way that he just go about it. It's so grimy, it's so dirty, but you gotta respect it. You know what I mean? Like it's not for everybody. The same way that some people think like the Griselda sound is like just dusty and it's like, oh, who cares? I don't want to hear all that, coke rap and shit, right? But Conway, he's just so distinctive with his style and how he, paints his images and whatnot. It's kind of similar to me how I feel like Giannis moves on the court. It's very familiar, the same way it's familiar for Conway to rap about all the drugs and the guns and shit. But how they finesse it is different. Like the way that they just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the machine. Like Giannis is a machine, yo. So it's almost like, it's almost like Giannis and Connis, you know what I'm saying? Calling him, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going that.
All right, cool. Well, I think that's it for the super chats. Rob, we will do a call-in show next week. Yep. So I saw your question. We will do that next week, and the goal is to do them every other week starting next week. So, yep, there we go. So book it. If you're not a member, go ahead and join and come kick it with us next week. Join the show. Give us your takes. Question us on ours, and that's it. So we're gonna call it a night, and we'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Peace. Hey, do y'all really think that this Clippers team